Coming up on today's show.
That it's seeking out and asking somebody to help hold you accountable. So to, hold a mirror to your face if you're not doing the things that you said that you would do.
Someone's not your boss necessarily
Right.
when they're your accountability partner.
Yeah.
So let's get into that a little bit.
So we're creating accountability when we share something with someone else, either an individual or a group, and saying, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm working to achieve this, and I'd like you to help hold me accountable.
How to use an accountability partner as a productivity tool today on Keeping You Organized. Well, hello and welcome to Keeping You Organized. Today we are going to buddy up. We're going to talk about accountability. It's a big thing that in any kind of program, like if you're trying to do sales, if you're trying to accomplish things, productivity in general, having someone help you along and keep you accountable is key. So we're going to bring on one of our accountability partners, Debbie Rosemont from It's Simply Placed. Debbie, welcome to Keeping You Organized.
Thank you so much, John. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
Well, great. I think this is a hot topic. I hear about this a lot in a lot of different avenues, in a sales arena, in just trying to get things done. So we want to talk about an accountability partner as a tool in maybe your productivity tool chest. And so let's kind of maybe start with what kind of productivity is and how we're going to kind of maybe frame it as we talk about it today.
Sure. I think of productivity as reaching meaningful goals. So producing or product is the base word in productivity. And there's a difference between just activity and being busy and doing things and doing the right things and moving your goals forward or accomplishing what you want. So I think of productivity as in the most efficient and effective way as possible, producing or putting output or reaching your goals to help you achieve what you want in work and in life.
Great. Well, now, okay, so that's the high level. The next level down is let's define accountability, because I know
Sure.
that it's someone's not your boss necessarily
Right.
when they're your accountability partner.
Yeah.
So let's get into that a little bit.
Well, there's different types of accountability, and being accountable to a boss is one type. So, that's being accountable to your job and knowing that, if you do the work, the reward is a paycheck, but you're needing to meet expectations. So when there's deadlines or there are deliverables or milestones, part of the exchange at work is that, you do these things and you get paid to do so. So that is a form of accountability. What we'll talk about today is a little less structured. I mean, we'll talk about some structure to it, but it's a little less formal in that it's seeking out and asking somebody to help hold you accountable. So to, hold a mirror to your face if you're not doing the things that you said that you would do, and hold your feet to the fire, so to speak, so that you continue to make progress on the things that are important to you.
Right.
So our chance of achieving a goal goes up dramatically when we are clear about that goal. We have it in writing, but even more so when we share it in some way publicly. So we're creating accountability when we share something with someone else, either an individual or a group, and saying, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm working to achieve this, and I'd like you to help hold me accountable.
Right. Well, and I know personally I've used accountability partners in the past in a variety of situations, and they're really a variety of different kinds of people. And I know we're going to get into maybe how to choose one, but let's just maybe go off. An accountability partner is not necessarily someone that knows more about a certain subject or thing than you do, right?
No, and I would think that's more of a mentor, what you're describing. Yeah. So no, they don't necessarily have to be an expert in a subject. And you can choose an accountability partner based on a variety of factors, but I think it's somebody that you trust enough and that you respect and like enough to be able to be a bit vulnerable with them, to share things with them, and then to depend on them to be honest with you. So no, it does not need to be an expert in your field. It doesn't even have to be someone in your industry. There's benefits to choosing somebody in your industry, and there's great benefit to choosing somebody with a different perspective or outside of your industry as well. So no, it's not a mentorship. Okay. That's a good distinction to make.
Yeah. Now, when we talk about accountability, and we're going to get into how to choose one in a moment, but I want to just talk a little bit more about the role of accountability in the overall productivity, let's say tool chest or whatever, because there's a lot of things, there's systems, there's things like that we put in place for productivity. Why is an accountability partner an important piece of, or an important tool in that productivity tool chest?
It works because when you put something out there to somebody else and you say, hold me accountable, you are more likely to complete that thing or to make the progress. But you also have somebody in place to brainstorm with, or to bounce ideas off of, or to work through challenges if you're not making the progress that you want to. So rather than just putting a deadline on your calendar, for example, which is kind of a way to hold yourself accountable to something, you've got a person who you can interact with that you're going to want to do the work so that you don't have to hang your head and say, I didn't do it. But at least you're going to be making progress, and that person can be an interactive part of your productivity, can ask you good questions, can help you work through issues. There is a little bit of a coaching relationship, again, not mentoring, but coaching, being someone that can ask you questions and coach things out of you. So that can happen as well. And it's also kind of a bit of a cheerleader, and somebody, when you accomplish great things, that can give you that virtual high five or real high five if you're in person. And we get benefit from that, and we want more of that. So we're more likely to do that thing. Okay,
great. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into how to choose an accountability partner, because I know there's important considerations. So we're with Debbie Rosemont, It's Simply Placed, and talking about how to use an accountability partner as part of a productivity tool. And we'll be right back.
Now there's a place just for you. Life can be busy, and you still have to keep it all together. That's why you like to be organized and in control. Introducing MyOrganized.life, a special place where you can get ideas and solutions to organize what's important to you, your important papers, your important decisions, your important life events. We show you the ideas and products to stay organized in your life. See what's new. Stop by and say hello. Visit us at any time at www.myorganized.life. It's just for you. MyOrganized.life by Smead. Find us at www.myorganized.life. MyOrganized.life.
We're back now on Keeping You Organized, talking about how to use an accountability partner as a productivity tool. And this is a part of one tool in getting productive. We're not going through systems here, but using an accountability partner. We have Debbie Rosemont from It's Simply Placed. Debbie, before the break, we kind of talked more about how accountability fits into the whole productivity scheme. But now we get to the point, and I hear this a lot from people, I wish I had someone who kept me accountable. And so we need to find, how do we go about finding somebody, or, tell us about the process. What do you look for?
Yeah, so you want to look for somebody, you could think about somebody within your industry, and the benefit to finding somebody within your industry is that they're going to get it at a level that somebody outside might not. They're going to better understand the work that you do. They're going to better understand external and internal factors involved with that work. And so they're going to be able to relate to the challenges that you have and the things that you're trying to accomplish. So they'll get it. A benefit to choosing somebody outside of your industry is that they are going to bring a different perspective. So they're going to bring perspective from the type of work that they do, which might be very different from yours. And I've had accountability partners in both in the industry. So another organizer and productivity consultant that was in Chicago, so outside of my geographic area. And there's so much technology that we can use now to check in with people. It's not important that it be somebody geographically close to you, but because she was within the industry and not in competition with me for local clientele, we were able to, share quite a bit. We worked on workshops together that we then both delivered independently, and that was a big time saver. We also had similar goals and a similar direction we were taking our business, so that was a good reason for us to partner together and help hold each other accountable.
Right. Now, do you think an accountability partner or relationship has to be set up so you're keeping each other accountable, or is it sometimes just I'm keeping you accountable and that's it? And
it could be that one-sided way, but I think it works best to have a two-sided relationship where there's both giving and taking happening. So when you're asking somebody to hold you accountable, the part of the benefit in it for them is that you will also hold them accountable for what they're trying to accomplish. And I think that's a really nice way to structure the relationship.
Okay.
When we talk about choosing someone, I want to I mentioned the example of choosing somebody in industry. I have an accountability right now, a partnership right now, that's somebody that's very different from what I'm doing in the work, and that he's a realtor. We have some similarities in that he has a team and some employees, as do I, but because he's in a different industry and does work in a different way, it's very interesting for me to have his perspective. So besides industry, personality traits are a good thing to think about in finding somebody who, like I said before, you can respect and trust and feel like you can share things with in an open and honest way, and somebody that will really put that mirror up to you and say, okay, look, you're not doing this thing that you said that you would do. What up? And so somebody who you can have that kind of relationship with, you're not really worried on stepping on each other's toes, because if you are, it's not going to be as real and as authentic of a relationship. So that's something to think about as you're choosing a partner as well. Okay, well, let's talk now about maybe how you would go about picking someone or finding someone, and maybe you can use an example of how you've done it in the past. Especially is it someone who's a really good friend, and then how do you approach somebody? Yeah, that's a great question. So the accountability partnership I had for years, that was another organizer and productivity consultant in my industry, we actually met at a conference. So we met at a NAPO conference. It was in Boston years ago. And we didn't meet till the last day of the conference. And we started in on a conversation and we just connected. We just clicked. And at the end of the conversation, where we were both talking about a direction we were wanting to take our individual respective businesses that was similar in nature, we thought, well, gosh, we both have some similar goals and objectives here. What if we checked in on each other? We both kind of stated, hey, as a result of this conference, here are 3 things I'm going to go back to my office and do. And wouldn't it be great if we checked in on each other in a month and talked about how we each did on those things? And that's how the first accountability partnership for me formed. This was back in 2005, I think. And so just asking, if you find somebody that you click with, or you're working in a similar direction or have some similar objectives, why not be able to say, hey, let's help each other out here? So that's one way is, in your industry, if you're at a conference, or if you're at some sort of a networking event, or if you're, working with somebody kind of in a tangential way, is there a way to formalize that and create an accountability partnership? Yeah. The partnership I have right now actually stemmed from, I was in a mastermind group, which is a group accountability structure. And the mastermind group had kind of started to dissolve, there was one person in there who actually approached me and said, look, I know this is dissolving, but I really appreciate the way that, that you've shown up in this. And I'd like to see if you would hold me accountable for some things, and I'll do the same for you. And I said, absolutely, because again, we connected in a way that I thought that would be a good use of time and a good productivity strategy. So just asking is typically the best way.
That's incredible. Now, behind the camera, my producer is going like this, saying, okay, she's keeping me accountable, saying we've got to end this episode, but we're not done, because I want to touch on masterminds. I want to touch on how you structure the relationship. So we're going to have to do that in our next episode. Willing to come back?
Absolutely. Let's do a part 2.
Okay, great. Well, there you have it, folks. We're just getting into this, how to use an accountability partner as part of a productivity plan. And we're going to come back next time with Debbie. But Debbie, before we go, tell us a little bit about how we can get a hold of you and the kinds of services you offer.
Yeah, so we are based in the Seattle, Washington area, and we offer in-person organizing appointments, and we also do productivity consulting and training. We travel for clients nationally, and we also have a virtual productivity program that anyone from anywhere can take advantage of if they're looking to be more organized and productive in the way they go about their day and the way that they work and accomplish their goals. So the virtual productivity program is something that can be found on our website. And John, I know you could probably post the link as well. But that's a 12-month program that somebody can engage in just parts of and do for a few months, or can sign up for the year. And we do a deep dive into a different productivity or organizational topic each month. There's a webinar, there's an Ask the Organizer, there's a Facebook community, which provides some great accountability, because each month we issue an implementation challenge. So I think it's great to learn, and I want to be teaching, but I also want people to make change that's going to make a difference for their work or their life. And so that implementation challenge is part of the program as well. Our members are working on something in particular during the month, and then we're checking in. So we're providing that accountability and community for them as well.
Okay, and the website is?
Itssimplyplace.com. So www.itssimplyplace.com. And the program that I'm talking about is called It's About Time Virtual Productivity Program. And it can be found under the Business Organization tab at the bottom. But I think we can probably
we'll put it in the show notes at smead.com/podcast. Debbie, great. We'll get you back here next time so we can do part 2. And folks, go out and start thinking about this accountability partner concept, because it's very powerful. And we'll see you.
Super effective.
Yep, and we'll see you next time on Keeping You Organized.